Just wanted to tell you guys that I'm a complete and utter failure at vlogging. In January of this year, it's now October by the way, in January I said I was going to do a monthly vlog. And I think I did one. It's October now, so oh well, it is what it is. I got really busy with work, which is no excuse. I guess I lost the motivation, but whatever. I'm gonna do one right now. But I'll actually, I did some filming of stuff at work while I was trucking. I was stuck in a snowstorm and I spun out on a hill back in March. So I'm gonna use some of that footage.
I hit the full locker, I locked it right up, and all of a sudden everything started going, and the grader was right behind me. I was like, holy shit, he's pushing. But really he wasn't. I heard it's actually supposed to be nice tomorrow. Oh, wouldn't that be nice, eh? Yeah, it would be. Oh, I mean, we gotta be getting close to the end here. I mean, seriously, we're already into March. I know. Like, I know winter's technically winter until the end of March, but, I mean, you know, typically by now we're into some rainy, warmer weather. You can see it's fucking snow on top of everything. Yeah. Mother Nature's buried. She doesn't know what time of the year it is, I guess. Yeah. Actually said that to Corey this morning, because for the first time all winter our driveway is dirty. I was like, holy shit, look at that. Yeah, I'm only about halfway down now. Quite a bunch of traffic.
All right. So, spun out in Paulson Summit. A lot of snow out there. Look.
That truck spun out yonder?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's not a bunch of chains on there, bud.
Yeah, I already did that. I busted 2 sets already. I chained up, third time chaining up. Chained up at Allison Pass, chained up at Anarchy, chained up again here, and chains don't last forever.
Get some new ones in.
Yeah, I'll just stop by at the chain supply depot at the side of the road here. Well, there you go.
Highway haulers.
Every few minutes I gotta suffer the abuse of other drivers on the radio. Maybe I should turn the radio off, but show you you know, what the scenery, what I'm looking at out here. So yeah, it's really kind of, it's snowing, but it's like wet, slushy, thick, heavy, gross, not nice, not fluffy and powdery and nice snow. It's this time of year, it's March, and it's 3 degrees Celsius. So it's warm. Yeah, so the snow is very slushy. It's not grippy at all, so just a little bit of layer, and it's more than just a little bit, but just a little bit on the ground, your tires will spin, so you got to throw the chains on. So I've thrown chains on, you know, I've been driving for 2 days, and I've used the chains. This is the 3rd time I put the chains on, and the chains stay on for a long time because it's snowing everywhere. Chains aren't like made to last forever. Well, they'd like to make them that way, but they don't. They're just metal, and they wear out as they're just slamming into the ground and grinding down to nothing, and eventually they bust. So yeah, busted one, busted another, and I'm working on busting my third. I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to spin it at all, but two sets went, and as I was trying to get up, and I had to do everything I can to get some forward momentum, because I was in a bad spot to stop. So I knew this section, I know this hill pretty good. I've gone over this hill like hundreds of times. I knew there was a bit of a wider spot. This is a better spot to stop than where I was at. So I got here, but then I destroyed my chains getting here. And so I only have 2 chains sort of on, and one of them's pretty useless. It's kind of very broken. So there's nothing I can do but wait for a tow truck. The tow they called, the DOT stopped. Anyways, maybe you should look at me while I'm talking. So DOT stopped and said they would help me out and they would find a tow truck. There's a tow truck on duty coming up and down these mountains. But when it's like this, I'm not the only one with issues. So he already was towing one guy, and he passed me as he was towing one guy over, and he said, hey, I probably won't get to you for another 6 hours because there's a... he's towing that guy, and then there's a fire truck that it's more important to get his fire truck that's spun out. I get it, he's an emergency vehicle. Yeah, take care of the fire truck, and I'll just sit here. And he said, he'll be here in 6 hours. Anyways, they called another tow truck company called you didn't need to know the name, but there's another tow truck company. He's coming, and he said he was leaving his town in like 20 minutes. He told me that 10 minutes ago, but he's still got to get here, so I don't know when that guy's gonna get here. So anyways, RCMP. Anyways, kind of neat seeing all these cars just like zooming past in their SUVs, 4x4s, and I'm here like I can't even move an inch in this weather. Yeah, you want to see some more of it? Yeah, this has been my view for let me see, I got this timed in my electronic logs. I've been here, sitting here for what? How long have I been here? What am I looking at? 2 hours and 55 minutes. I've been just sitting here. So almost 3 hours just sitting in one spot. I've been, that's why I'm recording this, because I am bored. I've listened to some podcast episodes. I've listened to Jordan Peterson's podcast. I've been listening to audiobooks. I've listened to, Jack London, Seawolf. A bit of Tim Ferriss. Did some reading, some truck papers over here. Truck West, Pro Trucker magazine, and Today's Trucking. I don't even care about that stuff, but it's there, so I read it. So, trucking, yeah, it sucks. It doesn't always suck. Why do I drive trucks? Why do I do this? Some days it's really good. Driving up north, it was really fun. Doing the ice roads, and you see the northern lights, and it's beautiful. There's just, it doesn't matter how many times you see the northern lights, you just don't get over it. It's nice. And the scenery out here, it's beautiful. So I mean, that's the major plus. Okay, give me something to talk about. Let's talk about the pros and cons of driving truck for a living. Okay, so the scenery. The scenery is great. I see such varied terrain. I'd never ever work a city job ever where you're working the same town, same streets all the time. I've done that before. My first trucking driving job, I owned my own truck. I was just doing that in Vancouver. No, I wouldn't do that anymore. But doing, short haul, regional, or long haul stuff, you get to see so many different things. The wildlife. You see more sunsets, sunrises than most people. Second is, I'm not somebody who likes to stay in the same spot all the time. I'd like to get out and explore. So my other job is I'm a web developer. I sit in front of a computer and I make websites, which is great, and inspires my mind and my thinking, and you get to learn things. Technology you get to learn all the time. But Yeah, I'm not the type that can just sit in one spot all the time, every day, all day, go to the same office or same factory. That's not for me. So I break it up by going trucking and exploring. So that's one plus. The money's not bad, but it's not good either. You look at how much you make and you think, oh, that's great, making this much money. But then you divide it by the hours you're actually on the road. And then it's like, yeah, that's not that great. And yeah, so I guess, it's a plus and it's a minus. So, I mean, I just know where to put it. So you get, the pay should be more, but, when you do things like haul fuel, do heavy haul, haul up north on the ice roads, do oil field stuff, work on the patch, you can make some pretty decent coin doing that. But you're working long hours, you're working a lot. So your average guy, though, your average truck driver doesn't make very much money. I don't know why some people do it. You look at some guys and they've been doing the same, I don't know, they're low self-esteem or low self-value, right? They're driving for peanuts. Yeah, guys, if you're trucking and you're not making, enough money, there's so much work out there. Just move up a little bit, do some heavy haul some fuel, do whatever. And that's not trying to be an elitist. I've talked to guys and they think, no, I don't have enough experience. And guys have been doing it for 10 years and they think, man, I don't have an experience for, moving up. No, you can move up, make more money. We should all be making more money. Cons of trucking, let's work on the cons. You deal with stuff like this, sometimes. The weather can get crappy and what can you do? There's a lot of times, a lot of waiting around, a lot of sitting around. My company, they pay delay time, but still, you don't make as much in delay time as you do actually making miles. So you want to be making the miles. When things like this happen, you don't make enough money. Another con, the hours I mentioned away from home. I guess I could work in the city again and be home every night, but you come home every night. I found, when I was doing that sort of stuff, I came home tired anyways and I went straight to bed. It's not really time with family just because you're home. So I think this schedule that I'm doing right now is pretty good. I work 4 on, 4 off. So it's great. I mean, like, if I ever need a holiday, I book 4 days off and, and then you get like 12 days in a row off. That's awesome. Did I do my math right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so time away from home. I used to work 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and that was brutal. It was nice having 2 weeks off in a row, but 6 weeks away from your family is just way too long. And a lot of the long haul guys, they work on the road, for a couple months at a time. That's just way too much. So yeah, time away from the family, that kind of sucks. Being treated as a second-class citizen sometimes. Some people think, truck drivers are a bunch of greasy, derelicts, that, dinosaurs. They're like a last of a dying breed, that we don't even need truck drivers anymore. It can be all autonomous and robots and whatever. Kind of agree a little bit. I think a computer can probably do a better job at some of this stuff, the easy bits, but I wouldn't want to trust a computer right now in today's weather. But yeah, you get treated like the ordinary, like, I don't know, you get treated like a criminal sometimes, and you're just trying to do your job. So dealing with the traffic, ignorant, people. Most people aren't like that, but you do get your fair share. I mean, so if you're not calm, have like an even-tempered kind of person, you don't want to be a truck driver, because you're not going to be able to handle it. Some guys, I see them just upset all the time and unhappy because, so that's a big con, right? I could probably think of more pros and cons. This isn't a very well thought out little talk here, but I had nothing else going on right now because I'm stuck until this tow truck shows up. So yeah, I felt like recording a video of this. Looks like there's a truck about to pass, so let me get a video of that guy. Yeah, he's coming up slowly. There's not much you can do. See, these guys are way lighter than me. They can get away with like moving up the hill with like just one axle chained up. I have to have all 4, and I'm not going anywhere unless I got all 4 chained up. So Anyways, that's my rant, and talk to you later. Bye-bye.